Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to be back. I feel like I've been playing well. Got a couple of days good practice, and I got a couple more days before the tournament starts, and I'm excited to get started, and I'm feeling good.
Good. Questions? Richard?
Hey, Taylor. Richard Osborne with USOpen.org. Wanted to ask you a little bit about your countryman, John Isner. It looks like he's going to wrap his career, and I just wondered if you might reflect on what he's done for so long. He was kind of carrying the U.S. torch, etc.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a junior, and then for a long time when I first started playing, started my pro career, like he was the guy. He's been on top of American tennis for a really long time, and he was always super, just like nice, welcoming to all of the the new younger guys like myself and Riley and Tommy. He was always really welcoming to us, as someone we looked up to, and yeah, it's sad to see him go.
You think the serve will go down as the best ever?
Could definitely potentially be, but even if someone like, I guess, I don't know, let's say Riley were to do better, it's like it's still John. John is John. He did it first. He's like the first person to really do it like that. So he's what we call him is the goat bot.
Andrew Jones with ESPN and Skate. Taylor, first, I want to ask you about that with Arena Sabalenka enjoying that bartending experience in Cincinnati. How did you enjoy that whole experience there? And just your thoughts on playing Stevie Johnson again for a seventh time and the bond with him, and just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean it's been fun. We're both partnered with Dobell, and so it's been great. I've really enjoyed the kind of activations we do with Dobell at these tournaments where we get to go to the bars and make some drinks to people. I think it's fun. I've gotten pretty good actually at bartending, mixing up the drinks. So it's fun to actually go out and serve some of the fans, and doing it with Arena now as well. It's been fun. And then Stevie, first round, we've played each other a lot. We know each other well, so it'll be like a fun match. We used to play. I mean, we played each other a lot back in like, I don't even know, a couple years ago. So it's been a while, but it's gonna be kind of like a throwback match almost.
You got a favorite drink to make, by the way?
I've been really enjoying making the Paloma. That's one of the Dobell signature drinks they like to do. It's really good.
Brian
Mahoney, Associated Press. I like drinks too, but anyway, back to tennis for a second. Playing Novak last week, just sort of what did you feel about his level and the way he either was locked in that match, the way it started, or the way he kind of celebrated at the end after he won the title? Did you sort of sense how much it meant to him to be back here playing in the U.S. again?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's back in the States for the first time in a bit, and he's he definitely wants to prove himself and win the big titles, and that final was crazy, and I felt like his ball was coming off pretty big. I wish that I could have played a little bit better in that match, but I felt like his ball was really coming through the court, and yeah, I mean he's Novak. He's always performing well. He's always locked in, and he's obviously the person to beat this week.
Willie
Weinbaum from ESPN. It's 20 years since Andy Roddick won the championship here. What goes through your mind when you see the footage of Roddick winning and think about what his legacy is to the American players who followed for 5, 10, now 20 years?
I mean, the biggest thing is what we all get, I guess, asked at every press conference for the last, I guess, since my career started, is that he's the last one to win it. He's the last one to win one, and that's what we're all used to hearing. And Andy's he's a great guy. We love him, and Yeah, we've all just been trying to be the next one to win a slam, because that's the legacy really is. He's the last person to win a slam. It's been 20 years.
Cindy.
Hi, Taylor. Cindy Schmerler. After you leave here, you're playing Laver Cup in Vancouver and obviously played last year on that historic team. This is the first time that those 4 guys, none of them will be playing, only one other time. Is there a generational shift now for the Laver Cup, and what are you looking forward to after last year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, times are definitely changing. I think, obviously, there's no reason why Novak, couldn't play, but, obviously, Raja retired, Rafa's out and, getting healthy, and it's going to be a really different Laver Cup this year with I guess how Team Europe's made up. But I'm excited. I think that the teams are pretty even. I think this might be one of the first years that we're not going into it with everyone being like, oh, Team Europe's so much better and Team World has no chance. So I think the teams look pretty even, and it'll be fun.
And what's your greatest memory of last year? Obviously, Friday night stands out.
Yeah, I mean, being there for Roger's retirement and getting to talk to him and shake his hand, all that when he's retiring. That's something that I'll never forget. And then aside from that, obviously just winning the whole event and being able to celebrate with the team, I think that's something that was so great, because I was talking about the other day, actually, in tennis, when you win, which obviously every week everyone loses but one person. So when you do have those weeks where you win, you don't really have people to celebrate with, because it's an individual sport. So it makes it so much better. In the team events, you have a group of guys that you can celebrate with and have fun with. So I felt like that was that was one of the top moments of just my tennis career, because we were able to celebrate with such a good group of my close friends.
Last 2 questions. Boom, boom.
Hey, Adeshina Koike, USOpen.org and a lot of sports talk. You mentioned a few years ago here that you embraced a lot of sports when you were growing up, but tennis was the sport that you didn't embrace as much because of the tennis family that you grew up in. Now you've been the top American man for a few years. You're a top 10 player in the world. When you look back at young Taylor Fritz, who wanted to be either a baseball star, football star, and now you're a top tennis player, is there even a greater appreciation for the sport of tennis, knowing that when you grew up you kind of wanted to be a star in anything but?
I don't know. I think if I were to go back, I think maybe I'd be burnt out of tennis if I embraced it, like I did now from a really young age. So I wouldn't go back and change anything, but I definitely don't feel the same way about tennis that I felt when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was just making up injuries, looking for excuses to get out of practicing and stuff like that. So I love tennis, and I love the sport. I love talking about it, strategy, all that stuff. Everyone all the players know to come to me when it comes to advice playing somebody. I just love to talk tennis and break it down. But separate from that, I also hate watching it when I'm not at tournaments. But when I'm playing it and when I'm at a tournament and I'm in it, yeah, I love it. So I definitely have changed a lot over the years.
Okay, last question.
Hi Taylor, Dan Matthews from the Daily Mail. I think it's the first time since 2004 there's been 5 male seeds from America in the US Open. So I wondered what you think's behind that rise of this generation, and are you convinced that one of this generation will break that duck that we were speaking about earlier?
Yeah, as far as I assume the stats, it's the men's side, right? I'm sure we've had the seeds on the women's side, but yeah, as far as it goes with the men's side of things, we have depth that we've haven't had in an extremely long time, and we've been talking about this for a while, and with this depth we have a lot of guys that are pushing even higher, that are ranked even higher. Francis and I in the top 10, and then we have Tommy, who's right outside, and several other guys that are in that like 30 to 40 range with the potential to 100% be top 20 guys. So it's awesome to see, and we're all going to keep kind of pushing each other, and there's definitely a lot more people with opportunities to go really deep in the tournament and hopefully do something big. I think it's just having this group of guys that are all kind of around the same age, like myself and Tommy and Francis, Sebi, Banks, like all these guys. I think that we all push each other. I think when someone has a big result, the other guys are like, oh, well, if he did it, then I can do it too. And I think it gives us all that belief when someone kind of just has a big result, does something big. Everyone else wants to, first of all, like one-up them and do what they did. And then also, it's the belief that they can do it. So I think we've all just been pushing each other really, really well.